Like to welcome everybody to our December meeting. I know we usually have a lot of fun our December meetings, and everybody gets special gift, and don't get any of that this year. But we are recording this, and we are on Facebook Live. I'm Christy Durich. I'm the Executive Director of the Safety Council of Southwestern Ohio, and I'm happy here with the four of us on here. And I'm going to first introduce you, our sponsor, who's providing a $25 gift card to Amazon, which we will draw names after the fact and send out an email the winter. But Stephanie Hunter, what would you like to tell us about Ving?
Oh, I have so much to tell you. And first of all, I want to thank you so much. We love being a sponsor and partnering with you. I want to say happy holidays to everybody. It's a great time, and I think we're all looking forward to 2021 with much excitement. I'm going to do a really fast screen share with everybody and just get us started. And we just want to talk about a little bit about Ving. Ving is a training and compliance platform, and we focus so much on helping you keep your team safe and in the know. We are a safety platform, and I just want to scroll through really quickly on our site, and we are at vingapp.com. We have both safety content that you can use on our platform, or you can definitely incorporate your own SOPs and everything else. We focus so much on microburst training, so it allows you to get information out so your team and your employees will be able to engage the information that you think is most important. Just want to familiarize you with our site, so if you want to take a look at any point outside of just learning about our product, which we happily talk to you about anytime, we actually have resources for you, trending topics, blogs that may be of interest. And we think that would be helpful for you as resources that you can share with your team. We have opportunities where you can find out more. We have everything set for you. And again, thank you for letting us partner with you. We love the councils and believe in everything that you do. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Stephanie, and thanks for the gift card that we're gonna, and who can't use Amazon gift card this time of year, or any time really. If you're like me, I buy one gift and I buy a gift for myself. I'll buy one gift, and I'm bad like that. But anyhow, Ben, this is our BWC rep. We always have him at all our meetings, and he's here to answer questions, but he has a few announcements today.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I want to wish everyone a happy holiday season. And I wanted to let you know that we are doing webinars, but the webinars that we're doing are ones that are replays, but they're coming back by popular demand. We have one that's up and coming next week. I believe it's on the 22nd at 11 a.m. And I believe it's management commitment. How do you get management commitment to buy in to programs such as safety? So look for that also. And I know that there's going to be one in January. How do I know that? Because I'm going to be doing it. So it's, are you a hazmat employee? And it's going to focus in on any type of hazardous materials, shipping regulations, talking a little about using the emergency response guidebook. That is going to be on September 19th, and we'll be doing that live. So look for that at 11 o'clock. Also, we have a couple other things that we're still doing. Our training center has basically shut down for the holiday season, but we'll be coming back. We'll be doing live, live training sessions. I did one in November called Accident Analysis. That will be done again in March. There's all kinds of classes that we're offering. We are still offering, since we're doing virtual, everything's virtual right now with us. We are doing virtual consultations, so I've been doing a few of those also. So if you need anything done, we're also doing some virtual classes also. So look for those, and also look for BWC. We are giving rebates back. Don't throw the check out. There's a lot of money that's coming back. So, just look for that, and don't throw it away. And with that, let's see, I'm talking about the webinar here. And I'm looking for something else that we wanted to bring out of retirement. So this is, we brought back, I got a hold of somebody who a couple of years ago came to your council, and I tried to get him to come back last year, but he couldn't. But this year he came out of retirement again. So I'll let you see this, and we'll just go from there.
Ho, 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 ho! Welcome to 2020 Christmas and New Year. Happy holidays from Safety Santa. We are here in the North Pole getting ready for all our safe people in the Middletown area in Butler County. Ho, ho, ho! We're ready to go! Who's ready for some fun? Safety Santa decided to come out of retirement. As you know, Safety Santa is the brother of Santa Claus, and he's here for all the safe people here in Butler County and in the Safety Council. I want to welcome everyone and have a happy holiday from Safety Santa. I will see you soon. Bye.
Oh, wasn't that exciting?
Oh.
Hi, Santa.
He just wants to keep going on and on. Well,
Stop sharing.
I'm so glad that Safety Santa come out of retirement.
We love Safety Santa. And we hope everyone's going to keep, we like seeing him have a mask on too, Safety Santa.
He's COVID ready, so yeah, exactly.
And since we're going to try something different here, since we are doing our holiday stuff and we're talking about stress. Can you guys see this on your screen? Okay. We're just going to do a poll, and I think it pops up and you'll just be able to choose, right? Because I think my screen might be different than yours. So if you guys want to go ahead and hit those and then hit submit. What do you think? Oh, elf ears. They were almost 100%, but now we got Santa beard. Oh, I was curious about the kid and grandparent. I'm not a grandparent yet, so I don't know how that feels, but being a kid sure was fun. All right. Give a couple more seconds here. Just hit that submit when you're done, and we'll see where we ended up. Got a few more votes in. All right, I'm going to end the polling. And there's our results. Everybody can see that. It looks like the elf ears won out. Being a kid won out, not by much. And the candy corn and candy cane was close. It looks like candy cane won by a nose. So, all right. Well, that was just a fun little thing we were doing here before we talk about stress. Because, you know, who has stress these days? Yeah, I think we all do. But our speaker did change because our other speaker is out. She's on the vaccination team, so she is a busy woman. But we are so happy to have Annabelle. And if you saw how her name was spelled, and this is her married name, but it's A-N-A and then Bell. So I thought that was kind of clever, but she just married into that one. But she serves as an intern for the Bureau of Workers' Comp, Better You, Better Ohio Wellness Program, and we're excited to hear what she has to say. She's also a doctoral candidate in the Ohio State University, pursuing her degree in kinesiology. And her work and services are driven by the belief that health and wellness are multidimensional. I am 100% with you there. And I think in the spring, we will have a presentation from someone on the 8 dimensions of wellness. She embraces holistic health rather than one size fits all and believes in helping others pursue holistic wellness is critical to carrying out our purpose. She holds a BS in biology from Jackson State University, as well as an MS in kinesiology with specializations in human nutrition and adapted physical activity, and 2 graduate minors in public health behavior and promotion and public policy and management. You have a lot of knowledge. We can't wait to hear from you. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Annabelle.
Thank you, Christy, for that. And I am excited to be with you all. This wasn't in my bio, but I'm from Southwestern Ohio, from Butler County. So it's good to connect with my fellow neighbors there. So let's get started on this presentation. I am going to stop sharing my camera during it so that we can make sure there's no issues with any of the bandwidth and flow. But if you all can't see the screen or there's something that comes up, just let me know. So let's get this going. All right, so again, as Christy said, my name is Annabelle, and I'm here today to talk about stress management. And so I want to start this presentation just by talking about our current situation. We know we're in a pandemic, we know we're approaching the holidays. We'll move to discussing what stress is, the symptoms, and looking at ways to assess our own personal stress levels. From there, I want to transition to talking about a stress management toolkit, and then some tips for managing stress while you're teleworking. And also as we go into the holidays, and then thinking about mindfulness and health and wellness as those relate to stress. So again, our current situation, we are living in a pandemic as we're approaching the holidays. So our circumstances have been altered significantly. Some of us may be experiencing isolation. We may not be around as many family members, friends, or colleagues that we once were. The ways that we are interacting with people has changed. We're wearing masks, we're social distancing, we're doing virtual visits and consultations. We may have experienced illness or have had others around us who have experienced illness or just traumatic events. And so these altered circumstances really lead to significant change. As I mentioned, we might be teleworking, or those who are out in the field, they're working under more strict protocols. For individuals that have children, they might be in school at a hybrid type model, or maybe they're just doing virtual school completely. Our job status and securities have changed, our routines, our schedules. Essentially, there is a lot that is happening, and all of these things produce stress. It is nothing new to any of us. So stress, we hear this term a lot, but we might ask ourselves, really, what is it? And stress is simply just emotional, physical, or mental tension. It is a completely normal feeling, and it's just our body's reactions to the challenges and demands that we have in life. And I want to be clear that stress in and of itself is not always a bad thing. We can have both positive and negative events that can lead to stress in our lives, and these are called stressors. So you might have a job promotion or a new grandbaby, or maybe public speaking or losing your keys or issues with Zoom or Facebook. All of these different things are stressors that can cause stress. What we really want to focus on, though, are the 2 types of stress, and those are acute and chronic stress. So acute stress is the short-term stress. This is the one that we're usually, that's most common. It's least damaging, and again, it can be positive. So we might experience this like our screen share not going correctly, or the call-in number to a conference call is maybe we dialed it wrong, or as we're preparing for the holidays and we're doing that Kroger pickup and they last minute tell you that they're out of the product that you really needed, or Amazon just didn't send your package on time. These are all acute examples of stress where we're used to them. They don't last that long. They're not that damaging, and they tend to go away pretty quickly. Now, where we get concerned at is our chronic stress. So chronic stress is also known as long-term stress, and this is where we are experiencing emotional and mental pressure for a significant amount of time. Think anywhere from 2, 3, 4 weeks or more. And when we are undergoing chronic stress, we may feel like that we're not really producing, or we have little to no control over the things around us. And it's also important to note that this stress can be associated with traumatic events, such as a pandemic. So when our bodies are experiencing chronic stress, we release chemicals, and these chemicals are also called hormones. And the two common ones we see corticosteroids and norepinephrine, epinephrine, and they build up in our bodies over time. And so essentially, these are what are responsible for that flight or fight mechanism. They put us at a state of tension and stress that gets us ready for whatever our next move is. And that stress really can negatively impact our body. When we have chronic stress, we might see high blood pressure, which can lead to stroke. It damages our muscles, particularly our heart muscles, which can lead to heart attack. Our immune system's suppressed, so we're more likely to get sick, whether that's cough, cold, sniffles, etc. We might see that we're just not in the best mood. Some of us might have anxiety or depression. You might have sleep problems, weight gain, difficulty concentrating, all of these things. And it doesn't stop there when we have chronic stress. We could see upset stomach. Some people might engage in inappropriate drug or alcohol use. You might see wild or drastic changes in your weight. You might be tired or just really forgetful. So essentially, chronic stress is just detrimental to our bodies, and it's a place that we don't want to stay in. So, as I noted earlier, stress is very normal and we all experience it at some point in time, but we want to make sure that we are in our optimum state of stress. And this diagram here is really just going through what is it like when we have too little stress or too much stress. And so when we have too little stress in our lives, we are just way too relaxed. We are not exactly there or way laid back. We may not be aware or even care about important events in our lives, so things might just float past us. We miss them. We tend to not be involved in decision making, or we might find that we are just always sleeping and exhausted and tired. And the opposite end of the spectrum, when we have too much stress, we can reach a point of overload or burnout. This is when we might be really irritable, where we're fidgety, where maybe we have difficulty sleeping, we're not making decisive decisions, and it's just not a good place to be. Maybe we're snapping, we're struggling to control the things around us that we can control. And so we don't want to be too little stress or have too much stress. We want to be in that optimum place. And when we're in an optimum place, we are functioning well. We're able to sleep well. We care about the life events that are going on around us. We're involved in our decision making, and we are making good decisions. So as you're thinking about your life right now, think about where you might fall on this spectrum. Are you just experiencing too little stress and maybe you're not that involved in the important things? Or maybe you're at a place of burnout where you are completely wore out from the amount of stress that you've been on. So when we, again, are outside of our optimal stress, what does that look like for you? Think about that. And that can be, it can manifest in feelings of sadness, maybe guilt, loneliness, fear, despair. And these are all normal. Everyone is experiencing some level of this right now. And the pandemic is a big cause of that. And that's fine. And it's okay because this is a time for processing those emotions and where you're at. And if you are in a place of more high stress or overload or burnout, hopefully we can get some tools here that will help you navigate that. So when we're talking about stress management, one of the best places to start is to really take inventory. Be observant of yourself, your surroundings, and your behaviors, and know your stressors. If you find that maybe you're snapping at your kids or your loved ones or a spouse more often, or maybe you're not sleeping like you should, or you're tossing and turning, then it's time to stop and say, what is bothering me? What's causing me stress? And how can I begin to address it? Gather those resources and those support systems, whether that's taking a break, getting a good cup of coffee, finding some friends or other professionals that you can talk to. It's a prime opportunity to say, this is what I have and this is what I need in my corner to navigate this stress. We can also manage our stress by paying attention to our physical health. I know that it's getting colder outside, but regular exercise is still important. So even if you're not outside as much, movement, good movement throughout the day, 30 minutes a day, can help boost our mood and help you sleep better. You can also practice relaxation activities. So things like meditation, breathing exercises, mindfulness, all of those are great to reducing and managing stress. And we'll talk a little bit more about those later. It's important too that when you're managing stress to fuel your body well. So make sure that you are eating those fruits and vegetables, those foods that give your body nutrients and energy to keep going. And when possible, try to consume more foods that have been cooked at home. Try to avoid fast food, just things that are not really rich in nutrients when you're ordering takeout or getting carry out. And also be mindful of your sleep. If you don't already, develop a positive and healthy sleep routine. This can include maybe stopping electronics 60 minutes before bed, cutting back on screen time throughout the day, reducing your caffeine and sugar intake, and making sure that you keep your bedroom for sleeping only, not for work, not for other play, but just as a place of rest and relaxation. Another way to help manage stress is to set goals. Learn to establish what your priorities are and say no to those things that contradict that. It's also important that as while you're setting goals to remember to note what you've accomplished. It's very easy to forget about what we didn't do, to focus on what we didn't do throughout the day. But instead, think about the small things. Maybe you were able to finish a load of laundry without any interruptions, or you got through a call with no issues and no tech problems. Those are all positive things that we should highlight. Managing stress is also helpful by being engaged, so staying connected with others. Things like this meeting, being involved in calls, looking at community groups that are around you, sending text messages, phone calls, all of these small touches help us remember that we're not alone in this journey and can help us reduce our stress. And a significant way to address stress is to think about your thoughts. This is involved in realizing that what we're thinking will manifest how our body is responding. So try to work on being positive in our thoughts. Remember and recognize that we cannot control everything. If you are not feeling good, if something is upsetting you, if you're feeling down, write those feelings out. Talk through them. Think about ways that you can change your point of view. And again, remember to celebrate the small things. So I want to share with you all too the stress management toolkit. This is one called the 4A's. And really, when stress is high, our primary goal is to reduce those stressors and to find healthy ways to cope. And so one toolkit you can take with you are these 4A's, which are to avoid, alter, accept, and adapt. So when we are talking about avoiding, this is essentially making changes in your environment where you can. So maybe you have a conflict in time with Zoom meetings or other phone calls for other members in your household. And instead of being stressed about that, maybe you can see if you can stagger the time at which everyone has to take their calls. When possible, try to avoid individuals or situations that may cause or bring you stress. That could be something as simple as not responding to a text message. Be sure to say no to obligations and tasks that extend beyond your skills and your limits. And remember to reduce the number of daily activities. So simplify your list. Don't attempt to accomplish 100 things in a day. Remember and recognize what you have time for and try to just go for that. When we're thinking about altering ourselves and our environment, we can think about the changes that may need to happen. And if change is needed, be willing to speak up and to ask for that change, but also be willing to make changes if others ask the same of you. Share your feelings with those around you where it's needed so that they can help you either see the situation in a new perspective or to navigate it and to reduce your stress. Managing your time well lets others know to respect your time. So practice good time management. Practice recognizing and learning how long it takes you to do certain tasks and to stay within those boundaries. And again, be upfront about the limits and the time constraints that you have. Know how much time, if any, that you can devote to a task or a situation before accepting it. And this just helps everyone stay on the same page, and it reduces that tension and that stress. When we're thinking about acceptance, it's important to connect with what support systems you have. So those support systems can be friends, family members, coworkers, whomever. Make sure that system is there and make sure that it's good and intact. Forgiveness is also essential to acceptance. Remember to forgive yourself. Sometimes we're very hard on ourselves, but also forgive others. Holding on to unforgiveness burdens our body and it just adds to the stress load that we're carrying. Always try to, when possible, engage in positive self-talk. Engaging in positive self-talk can help lead to positive responses and positive actions. And remember that we all make mistakes. Do not be stunted by them. Don't be held back by them, but learn from those mistakes and try to move forward. And the last A here in this is adapt, which I think this is something that we are all doing during this given time. Remember to adjust your standards. Because of our current situation, our expectations and standards are drastically shifting, and we have to move with this accordingly. And when we do, this prevents disappointment and burnout. Another way we can adapt is to practice thought stopping. And thought stopping is simply just immediately halting a negative thought before it continues and going down an unhealthy path. We also want to try to look for different points of view to help us navigate situations. And this is really where your support systems come in play. They might be able to help you see something that you didn't see before, or to think about something in a way that may be more beneficial. And always take time to count your assets. Think about what skills, tools, experiences, or resources that you have or that are in your corner and that you're good at. So now I want to transition into some tips for teleworking. When we are teleworking and ways to help navigate that stress, one thing we can do is to have a morning routine. And it can be something very simple, but this essentially tells our brain, it tells our bodies that it's time to get up, it's time to get going, and that this is an important part of our day. And when we develop this routine, we're ready for what may come at us, and we can adjust and move to any changes or conflict accordingly. Try to, if you do have children, have a schedule for yourself and for them. Having everybody on a good and consistent schedule creates a sense of continuity, and that helps to buffer any changes that may come and again, reduce stress. When you can, if possible, engage by video. When we engage by video, it's just simply showing our face. It's letting everyone else know that we're here, that we're present, and sometimes it's nice to just see another face when we can. Be sure to schedule breaks. I know that because some of us are not in our typical work environments, it's easy to just work. But that burns out our minds, that burns out our bodies. It doesn't give us time to refresh. So make sure that you take time for those breaks, even if it's simply standing up and stretching or just taking a quick walk around the room. And as much as possible, get outside or just leave what office space you have. Look out at nature, see what's going on, take a deep breath. If there is some sunshine, try to enjoy it. Or like now, we have a lot of snow here, so enjoy the beautiful snow. Also, when we're teleworking, be sure to have a firm quitting time. Again, we are blurring the boundaries and the lines between our home spaces and our workspaces at times, and so it's easy to keep things going or to not have firm times. But make sure that you are establishing what time is dedicated to work and what time is dedicated to other activities. Also note that whatever office space that you are using or space that is for your work, keep that as a workspace only. Try to keep that space free from other household things, and when possible, make sure that space is outside of your bedroom. Now, again, we're approaching the holidays. So when we are thinking about stress during the holidays, those two can almost go hand in hand. But because of the pandemic, we are addressing the holidays in a new way. So we need to think about how we're managing our stress in some different ways. And one way to start is to acknowledge that there are new feelings. Some of us might have experienced loss during this season. Maybe that's the loss of a loved one, loss of a job, maybe a hobby or an activity or a tradition that we were doing. And this can bring about new emotions or challenges. It's okay to feel sad, hurt, guilty, uncertain about approaching the holidays this year. And we cannot and we should not try to force ourselves to feel happy just because it's the holidays. But we also can be aware that maybe there are new things that we can try in this season. Maybe it's a virtual holiday party, or maybe it's Safety Santa coming back. And those are things that we can celebrate. So take time to acknowledge what feelings are new and how we can cope with those in healthy ways. As we approach the holidays, connect with others and do that in a way that is meaningful to you during this time, in a way that helps you feel safe and well supported. That may be a phone call, it might be FaceTime, it might be Facebook Live, it could be Zoom. However that is, be sure to make sure that you are not isolating and that you are spending time involved and connected to those around you. Next, create and maintain boundaries. So essentially you are setting and knowing your limits. And it's easy to forget those limits during the holidays, but be sure to do that. Those are limits about what you're willing to spend on food, gifts, entertainment, whatever that may be. Set limits on your safety. If you might have some family members or friends that are comfortable with gatherings and others who are not. So whatever that is, know what your boundaries are, know what's best for you, what's best for your family members, and be willing to maintain those. And establishing and maintaining those early will help reduce conflict and stress from those around you. And last, do less. This pandemic is pushing our energy stores, and the holidays can be very draining as well. And it's okay to not have the traditional extravagant holiday meal, the decorations, or the mountains of presents. Whatever that may be, simplify where you can and as needed. Focus on those things that are most beneficial, most nourishing, most uplifting to you. So maybe it's just a family tradition of watching a holiday movie, and that's where you put your time and energy into. Or maybe it's having a bonfire in the backyard that others can kind of peek over and watch and see. Whatever that is, do what is necessary for you, but don't overdo it. Just simplify and do less. Now, when we're thinking about our health and well-being and stress, one way to manage that is to create new routines. We've talked about this, that there are a lot of changes happening, and this is similarly to adapting. So we're not doing business as usual. So be sure to adapt. Find things that work for you and your family members and loved ones during this time. Make sure that you take time to disconnect. And this is really about disconnecting from media, screens, a lot of sensory input. And it's very easy to have all of that input right now. We're inside, we tend to be home more, we have the news, television, movies, social media going, but make sure that we are disconnecting from those and spending time with those who are close to us, with those that we care about. Always make time for self-care. And these are essentially activities that just pour into you and your well-being. They are things that are restorative. They can be something as small as just getting a cup of your favorite coffee, or listening to music, or just FaceTiming a friend that maybe you haven't spoken with in some time. And last, play. I know that may sound like something that is for those who may be younger, but it's not. We all play in some way. And this is really just about moving your body, connecting with others in fun ways, whether that's games, whether that's an activity, or just doing something that gives you a good laugh. Take time to play. And as we go into this holiday season, another way that we can protect our health and well-being and reduce stress is to avoid complaining and gossiping. We know that things are not business as usual during this time. And when we complain and when we gossip, and if we focus on those things, we are really inviting criticism and unwanted advice into our day. And again, those things will just increase those negative stress hormones, and that's not what we want to do. And last, one activity we can do is to complete mindfulness activities. And so I want to talk about that briefly. And I know this is a word that we might have all heard before, but I really want to just break down what mindfulness is. And it's simply just a state of being aware. It's a focused awareness, and it's accepting our feelings and where they are in the moment. So when we practice mindfulness, we are present and aware of our thoughts. We're aware of our needs, and we're stopping our immediate gut reaction. I don't know if you all can see this little image here on the right side of the screen where it says mindful or mindful. And you can see the human as he's walking through the park, he's thinking about all of these things, you know, from the job, his car, the music, all this stuff is happening in his life. And that can make you really tense when you're carrying around those thoughts. Whereas the dog is simply just acknowledging the park, the trees, the sunshine, and what's happening. And so in this scenario, we want to be more like the little dog. We want to be aware of what's happening with us in that moment. And when we're mindful, we again are aware of our emotions. We're exercising compassion because we are thinking about ourselves, our environment, who is right there with us if someone's there. And we're also cutting down on the busyness and all of the movement and noise within our brain. When we practice mindfulness, this helps us focus and it helps us pause and adjust our attitudes in a better way. So I want to take a short little break and we are going to do a quick mindfulness activity. Hopefully everyone is willing to engage in it. So we are going to do a mindfulness meditation and we'll get started. So wherever you are right now, take a deep breath. Close your eyes or keep them open and choose an area or an object to focus on. Slowly inhale to the count of 4 and slowly exhale for the count of 5. As you continue with this breathing, begin to picture a light at the top of your head. Allow the light to slowly scan your body, becoming aware of each area as it scans over it. Notice any tension and tightness as you scan and release it. Scan from the top of your head down to your face and neck. Scan your shoulders and chest. Move to your stomach and legs, all the way down to your toes. And as you continue breathing and scanning, repeat these calming affirmations. I am letting go of today's stress. My tension is melting away. My muscles are relaxed. My thoughts are calming down. I am letting go of fear and worry. Calmness washes over me with every breath I take. I am calm and centered. And take one more deep breath and a deep exhale as we return back to the presentation. So hopefully that brief exercise was a little calming for those who are willing to try it, and thank you for joining me on that. And I just want to encourage you, similar to that exercise, to live mindfully, to wake up mindfully. That might be something as simple as thinking about the position that you're waking up in. Were you laying on your side? Were you laying on your back? How was that? To engage in mindful eating. What does the food taste like? What does it smell like? What is the temperature and texture? You can practice mindful pauses throughout the day. So simply stopping and looking around you. What do you see? What do you hear? If you're exercising, engage in a mindful workout. Think about what muscles you're using. How fast are you breathing? Or do you just need to stretch because something feels a little too tight? And if we're out and about, have mindful driving. What color is the car that pulled up next to you at the red light? Did you see maybe a school bus while you were out, or a vehicle that was similar to yours? There are many minute activities, as I like to call them, that we can also practice that help us de-stress and engage in mindfulness. That can be something as simple as a big yawn and stretch. One that I like is 3 hugs and 3 breaths. So that can either be giving 3 hugs to someone close to you or giving 3 hugs to yourself and taking 3 big breaths. Taking a breath for a minute and just pausing, repeating affirmations and aspirations to yourself, or engaging in mindful eating. All of these things are very simple and ways to just help us stay present, to help calm the busyness of our mind, and to reduce the stress that we're experiencing. I also have in this presentation just resources, and I can share these with you all later if you like, about some more on stress management, whether that's for mental health, things about the CDC and dealing with traumatic events and stress. If you're looking for specific information about sleep, nutrition, etc., those are also here. But again, thank you for allowing me to do this presentation today. I am really excited that I got to share that with you all, and hopefully that everyone was able to take something away from it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Again, anybody has any questions, put them in the chat. I know sometimes we feel silly doing those little exercises, but it really, breathing's just so important.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I notice when I'm stressed or excited about something, I catch myself shallow breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And not really getting that gut breath, which is important. I know you, your bio said you were into holistic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any particular vitamins or minerals that help with stress at all?
Yeah, really. So in general, any of our basic vitamins and minerals, like things that if we're eating fresh fruits and vegetables as we can, leafy greens, all of those things can be beneficial to your body. Paying attention to scents is something that is very helpful. So like citrus smells are invigorating. Those things help our brains kind of refreshen to calm down. And lavender is one of my favorite ones. So I like to use that in my oil diffuser. It's just a little drop of lavender, and it's a nice way to calm the environment.
Does anyone else have any other questions? You relax them and they're so unstressed that
That would be wonderful.
have some comments. We said, yay for mindful driving. I know who did that. Huh. And then great presentation, speaker, excellent presentation. So yeah, thanks for everybody. Nobody has questions. I just want to wish everybody a wonderful, safe, stress-free holiday. And we'll hope and pray 2021 brings us more gatherings and connections, non-virtual ones. But I think we're going to be using virtual stuff even in the future. I think sometimes those little meetings, instead of, driving a half hour to meet with someone, I think sometimes you're going to probably resort back to virtual stuff. In essence, to save time. But all right, last check for questions. Oh, she's reminding me, did you guys get that puzzle I sent out? I probably will just send that in the email. This was one of those puzzles, I forget what they're called, but we sent it as an attachment. They're all safety related. So anyhow, you can't really see that unless I'm right. That's weird. Woo! Disappears. It's kind of ghostly. I'll send those answers in an email along with the winner of our $25 gift card. Oh, you didn't? Maybe I'll have to check with Lisa and see if it should have been attached to the meeting reminder, but we'll send it back out. So don't peek at the answers then, because they're kind of fun. And thanks to Carol for putting that together. So without any further thing, anybody else got anything? All right. Should we sing We Wish You a Merry Christmas? All right. Have a great holiday, everybody. See you in January.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.